He played piano. The Nazi officer spared his life. November 1944. The ruins of Warsaw. A man stumbles through the rubble, starving, freezing, desperate. He's been hiding for months, alone. His entire family, dead. Murdered in Treblinka. Warsaw is a graveyard. The ghetto, erased. The uprising, crushed. He is the last one left. His name is Władysław Szpilman. Before the war, he was famous. A pianist, concerts, radio broadcasts, applause. Now, he's nothing. A ghost wandering through a dead city. He enters a destroyed house searching for food, anything. And then he hears footsteps. A German officer. The game is over. Szpilman is a Jew. The officer is Wehrmacht. This is the end. But the officer doesn't shoot. He asks, "Who are you?" Szpilman whispers, I was a pianist." The officer stares at him, then says something impossible. "Prove it." The impossible request. In the corner of the destroyed house stands an old, broken piano. Szpilman's hands are shaking, from cold, from hunger, from terror. He sits down. His fingers touch the keys, and begins to play Chopin's Nocturne in C-sharp minor. The music fills the ruins, soft, melancholy, beautiful. For 3 minutes there is no war, no death, no hatred, just music. The officer stands in silence, listening. When the music ends, he doesn't speak for a long moment. Then he says, "You must survive. I will help you." His name is Captain Wilm Hosenfeld, the man in the uniform. Wilm Hosenfeld is not a Nazi. He's Wehrmacht, German army, a soldier. But he hates the regime. In his diary, found after his death, he wrote, "What we are doing to the Jews is a crime. I am ashamed to be German." But he's trapped. If he deserts, they'll execute him. If he refuses orders, they'll execute him. So he obeys, and secretly saves people. Over the years, Hosenfeld helped Jews in hiding, Polish civilians, prisoners of war. He gave them food, false papers, warnings about raids. And now, he's looking at Szpilman, a dying man, a Jew, an enemy. And he decides, this man will not die. The secret help. Hosenfeld doesn't arrest Szpilman. Instead, he brings him bread and canned food, gives him his own coat, warm, German military, shows him a safe hiding place, comes back regularly to check on him. For weeks, this continues. Szpilman hides in the attic. Hosenfeld brings supplies. They barely speak, but they understand each other. One day, Hosenfeld says, "The Soviets are coming. Soon you'll be free. Just hold on." Szpilman asks, "Why are you doing this?" Hosenfeld looks at him and simply says, "Because it's right." Liberation and separation. January 1945. Soviet troops enter Warsaw. The Germans retreat. Hosenfeld has to leave with his unit. Before going, he visits Szpilman one last time. He gives him the last of his food, adjusts the coat on his shoulders, and says, "Listen to Chopin, and remember me." Szpilman asks his name. Hosenfeld tells him. Then he's gone. Days later, Soviet soldiers find Szpilman. They almost shoot him. He's wearing a German coat. But he explains, shows his Jewish star, tells his story. He survives. The search. After the war, Szpilman returns to his life. He becomes a famous pianist again, plays on Polish radio, gives concerts. But he never forgets the German officer who saved him. He tries to find him, asks everyone, searches records. All he knows is the name, Hosenfeld. For years, nothing. Then in 1950, he gets terrible news. Hosenfeld was captured by the Soviets, sent to a POW camp. He wrote letters from the camp. "I helped people. I saved Jews. Find Szpilman. He will confirm." But the letters never reached anyone. In 1952, Wilm Hosenfeld died in a Soviet prison camp, from pneumonia and starvation. He was 57 years old. Too late. When Szpilman learned that Hosenfeld had died, he was devastated. "He saved my life, and I couldn't save his," For the rest of his life, Szpilman felt this guilt. Every concert, every note, every time he played Chopin. He thought of the officer who stood in the ruins and chose mercy over duty. In 2002, director Roman Polanski made a film about this story, The Pianist. It won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, 3 Oscars, worldwide acclaim. The world finally knew the story of Szpilman and Hosenfeld. But it was 50 years too late for Hosenfeld himself. Recognition, but he's gone. In 1999, almost 50 years after his death, Israel officially recognized Wilm Hosenfeld as righteous among the nations, an honor for non-Jews who saved Jews during the Holocaust. His family received the medal, posthumously. Hosenfeld's son said, "My father did what he thought was right. He never wanted recognition. He just wanted to help." But the recognition came too late. Hosenfeld died alone, in a foreign prison, labeled as an enemy. The man who saved lives was treated as a criminal. Szpilman's final years. Władysław Szpilman continued playing piano until his death in 2000. He was 88 years old. In his final interviews, he always spoke about Hosenfeld. He was a better man than most. He wore the wrong uniform, but he had the right heart. Szpilman is buried in Warsaw. On his gravestone, there's a simple inscription. He loved music, and he survived. But he always said the real hero was the man who gave him bread instead of a bullet. The Diary. After Hosenfeld's death, his diaries were discovered and published. In them, he wrote about many people he helped. Jews, Poles, prisoners. He wrote, "I don't know if anyone will remember me, but I hope someone does, because it means I did something good." Thousands remember him now, but he died thinking no one cared. The lesson. This story isn't about heroes and villains. It's about choices. Wilm Hosenfeld wore a German uniform, served in the Wehrmacht, could have obeyed every order and gone home safe. But he chose differently. He chose to bring food to a starving man. He chose to listen to music in the middle of war. He chose humanity over hatred. And it cost him everything. Szpilman survived because one man decided that music mattered more than war. Hosenfeld died because he was on the wrong side of history, even though he did the right thing. Final truth. The piano Szpilman played is gone, lost in the ruins. But the music remains. Every time someone plays Chopin's Nocturne in C-sharp minor, they play the piece that saved a life. And somewhere, in that music, 2 men meet again. A Jewish pianist who refused to stop playing, and a German officer who refused to stop caring. One survived the war, the other didn't. But both proved that even in the darkest moment, humanity can win. Even if just for 3 minutes, even if just for one life. That was enough. Would you have stopped to listen, or would you have walked away? Hosenfeld stopped. And because he did, Szpilman lived. And the world got to hear his music again. That's the power of one choice, made by one man, in the ruins of a dying city.